Hey people, I'm Linker. I make advanced AFKArena content. Here's the reasons you may want to watch this video. First is if you want to hear about some of the consideration that goes into making tier lists. Second is if you want to understand AFKArena and why it has such a community involvement that it does. And third is if you're curious about the recent controversy I got into, and me in general. This video is going to be about my signature item tier list you can see over here. That's a resource I update every so often to help players prioritize their signature items. And tier lists in general are some of my most viewed videos. I think it's because AFKArena players really care about where do their priorities stand to make sure they're making no mistakes. I don't really know, but I understand why people like them. They simplify very abstract ideas like synergies and decisions, and you look at it and you know what works best. They're really good at this, tier lists. My biggest critique about them would actually be that they're too simple to understand. They're completely blind to context, for example. If somebody's maining Gwyneth or something, maybe Estrilda is to prioritize over Catherine. I don't know. And if you just blindly look through my tier list, it would suggest otherwise. So my criticism on tier list is off topic, though I digress. This signature item tier list was last updated at the start of November, when patch 1.50 was just hitting live. This was an interesting time to update it, since Ainz and Albedo just hit the field. That's the first time we felt power creep hit so hard. And I'm making this video to address a Reddit post that was made almost 1 month later by a guy called D-Trendy. He's a nice guy. What he did is he took the benchmarks I talk about in the video. These are the points you want to get those people in the tier list. You see the little numbers? And he added them visually. That's a good idea. I respect him for that. Lots of people asked me for it, and he credited me properly, which was also nice to see. As you can see over here, both my Linker Reddit username and Linker YouTube username are here. The only issue is he didn't post a link to the video even in the comment he has below, and we'll get into there in just a second. Now you might be asking, Linker, the tier list is just an image. Why make a video in the first place? And that's a perfectly valid question. I think what happened in this post might be a good indicator. The community is very engaged. You can just see the amount of people in the subreddit to know. With such a big player base, people want reliable sources. They want people they can trust. Look, not everybody has access to what I have. I consider myself very fortunate in this regard. I got an early community supporter flair from Reddit, and while I'm not sponsored, I have a direct channel to Lilith. I even recently hit 3K subscribers, and even for the best content creators, these are not easy to get. Because of these, people hold me to a very high regard, as they should. If I'm saying something that's misleading, it could mislead the tens of thousands of people that view it on various platforms. Now, the video holds this standard in my opinion. If you look at the actual video, not just this tier list, I explain what do the tiers mean. I know a lot of people skip over that because they just don't care, and that's perfectly fine, but there's some people, a fraction of those 10,000 that really do. It means a lot to them and they need this explanation. This is feedback I've got. I also show the different signature items I'm ranking. I show what is the actual signature item. I show the Feral signature item I was ranking at the time is an older version than the one we currently have, which was since changed. I mention important things like what do those benchmarks mean, why are heroes moving, I mention why some heroes are ranked the way they are, I also explain what I anticipate in the future. I say this is a plainly campaign tier list. There's lots of information in these videos, and because as I mentioned earlier, tier lists are very important and can be very misleading, I think it's crucial. Now the image has none of that. And it's not necessarily bad on its own. Some people want things more simple, some people just want to absorb the content, judge, and move on with their lives, but it's better when you post it without the video, because for those people that care, they get upset. And they got upset. They look through the niche carving tiers as for heroes I think are rarely used. That's not at all the case. If anything, the opposite is true, and I explained that. They got upset because the benchmarks were completely unexplained, and they thought this tier list is for PvP. In the end, people got upset because they didn't understand how the list could be right, and they had nobody to turn to. And I know this is the case. The reason I'm so certain when I posted the list without the benchmarks is I asked for feedback, and it was remarkably positive from all around Reddit. There were questions, there were many things, but in essence, this was the very same list at the time, and people raised all kinds of things. I gave the answers, and everybody was happy. And here you see the opposite, and I don't think that's because people are bad, they just had nobody to turn to. I know this is the case. This is why I always do 3 things before I come up with my own videos. I always consult other pros. People at the top guilds like Casuals, other recognized content creators like Shazam and White Sushi. Look, I'm not perfect. I'm one person. Sometimes I have stuff wrong. I ask them for the feedback to know if I have things right, if it's questionable, if I'm just plainly wrong. I always make my decisions based on data as the second thing. This tier list was based on a set of chapter 35 replays, which was the best endgame data we had at the time. The third thing I always do, and this is why I really know what's standing behind this, is that I always ask for feedback. I make mistakes and I'm eager to learn from them. People who ever gave me feedback know this. I comment and I reply to almost every single comment on my channel, on Reddit, and it's because if I know I'm wrong, if I'm misleading thousands of people that I care about, then what is this all worth? I'm doing this to achieve exactly the opposite, and I care about those people that follow me, and I care about you and what you think. I want to deliver the right information to you. Even when people are not exactly nice about it, I really want to listen, and I've drawn 3 main pieces of criticism about this list. I listen, and there might be more in the future, and you know that I'll listen to them. So the first would be me calling source niche is misleading. The second would be Feral benchmark being wrong, why is it 20 and not 30? And the third would be Damon benchmark rating being just inaccurate. People say that he's 20 and not 30. Now, I did not call source niche. I said the signature item is niche carving, it meaning it changes its function entirely, and I haven't seen anybody argue on that basis. The Feral benchmark relates to an older signature item, and people responded this essentially, but kinda got to the sidelines or was too late. And Damon benchmark is explained in the video. It's about how the plus 30 reduces the time where it's unshielded by a factor of 3 because cooldowns are undocumented. Now, is this common information? No. It's written basically nowhere. People had to data mine this, and I barely explain in the video. It's hard to know, and even the people that do know it sometimes argue with me. But I don't think anybody knowing why I make these suggestions would just call this tier list garbage or completely wrong. And even if they do, I'm ready to argument. But when I see these kinds of disagreements, I understand the people behind them are not negatively motivated. They also don't necessarily disagree with me, and neither is the guy who created the thread. He's a good guy, I really do. D-Trendy did forget to link the video, but at the same time he spent a lot on putting those benchmarks on the heroes. That's respectable, and he put the credit on me. But if you follow me and care about my opinion on this, I would urge you not to join hate on OP or even the haters in the thread, but instead mark the pause for misinformation since it's misleading. That's what I did. In the meantime, I will keep my ears open for feedback and what people have to say. I really want to learn if I'm wrong on anything, because if I am, you can rest assured I'll make an update about it so that you stay informed. If at the start I gave you reasons why you might be watching this, the reason why I am making this is to let you know this doesn't affect 1 iota my overall motivation. I know everyone, my haters included and everyone, ultimately want the best AFKArena information out there. So in this video, I invite you to judge mine. Let me know if you have any feedback in the comments below about this or any other tier list, whether it's Reddit or YouTube. I will answer, I will take the time. Subscribe if you support me in what I do. And I have been Linker. Hope this answered your questions. And for now, peace.